Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our third episode of the Tech Savvy Series podcast hosted by Vanguard. I'm your co-host. My name is Atlas. This is my CEO, Trevor. And today, as always, we've brought you another episode of the Tech Savvy Series where we explore how technology transforms the places we live, work, and connect, focusing on cutting-edge technology in luxury homes. We're here to show you what's possible when design and technology work together. Today, we have a very exciting guest. This has been one that we have been looking forward to for a while now, so no pressure over there. We have Ernie here from Control4. Ernie, thanks for being here. Excited. Ernie's actually not from Calgary, so he came all the way out here from Manitoba. So we're very grateful to have him in the city, being able to do this in person. So Ernie, let's start simple. Tell us who you are, who you work for, why are you here?
So I work for a company called ADI Global. We are an international distributor of home audio, security, and commercial products. And ADI is the owner of Control4, which is the automation platform that Vanguard uses on their projects.
Beautiful. Yeah, lovely. Thanks for being here. How long have you been with Control4 for? Or ADI, I guess I should say.
Well, that's a longer story, but so I started with Control4 just over 10 years ago when they were an independent company. And just through, as technology companies evolve or companies evolve in general, we've gone through many mergers and acquisitions, and ADI acquired the company that I worked for, I guess, roughly about 18 months ago. But as I like to say, I've been a Control4 user since the inception. So Control4 has been a brand or a company started in 2005. And I've been a Control4 homeowner and user since 2006 and started with the company in 2015.
I love that. I'm grateful for that too, because I didn't know that. And it's good to know that the expert is also an expert in his own home, I imagine.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Don't ask my wife that.
Yeah, fair enough. And just before the next question, out of curiosity, just around Control4, if you were to sum up, what problem does Control4 fix?
Probably many. Really what Control4 does is it brings all technology into one platform. And that's really what we've been trying to do since the inception of the brand. It's not just about, controlling speakers in a great room or master bedroom or primary bedroom, but it's about taking anything connected and bringing it into one interface. So it could be your HVAC system, your shades, your lights, your audio system, your video system, your swimming pool, gate, intercom, everything, and bringing it into one interface.
So yeah, I got my first question is based around questions that we get all the time when we're selling products for the first time or selling projects, or we sell projects for the first time. Is a lot of clients, when we do our education portion of this, want to know why go with such an expansive system? Why can't they just use Google Hubs or Amazon Hubs or Samsung SmartThings, so on and so forth? What's the main difference? What's the driving force behind getting more towards using Control4 as opposed to like what everybody else is used to seeing?
Yeah, I guess there's kind of many aspects to that. One being any of the Google Homes, SmartThings, HomeKit, all those devices, they do a few things really well, and there's nothing wrong with that experience. But with Control4, what we bring to the table is interoperability. So what I mean by that is we can talk to thousands of devices where some of the brands you mentioned have a very small product portfolio that they can actually talk to. For some people that might be okay, and probably for a lot of people that might be okay. But when we're dealing with a luxury home or an expansive home that you want one point of contact, Control4 is what delivers that experience. Give you an example, if you want, your security system, when you arm your alarm, to turn off your lights, turn off your shades, turn off all your audio video, set the temperature to a certain level, set in a complete away scene, Control4 brings that to the table. And along with that, it's not just Control4, but it's also about Vanguard and our dealer network that curates that experience, where when you're buying a product off the shelf, the individual homeowner is the person that has to try to create that experience.
Yeah, that's good. We clean up a lot of those, a lot of those messes, a lot of those systems.
When it comes to Control4, for us here at Vanguard, we specialize in just that. So we don't offer the other competitive operating softwares, and for many different reasons. And instead of us elaborating on why we believe that Control4 operates as maybe the pinnacle or the more effective system, I'd love to hear from your standpoint. What do you think really stands out about this OS, and why do you think people should choose it over others?
Again, it kind of leads back to the answer on some of the do-it-yourself brands as well. There's no other company that has as many devices that integrate with their platform as we do. That's first and foremost. And then along with that, security has always been a huge driver in what our engineering team does on a regular basis. So what I mean by that is it's not just about the platform itself or the integration of other devices, but it's also about making sure that the platform itself is secure to outside threats, per se. So our app, when you're using it outside the home, it authenticates at all times to make sure that it is connecting to the proper home and that there's proper credentials in order to do that. So I think that's a big one. And like I said, it's just about drivers. That's the term we use that for products that integrate with our platform. And there's no other company that integrates with as many products as we do. I believe this changes on a daily basis, but we're probably in the 20,000 different types of drivers or products that we integrate with. Along with that is because of the company that we've evolved into, it's not just about Control4. So we have a lot of our own brands in different subcategories that integrate extremely well with Control4 as well. So we've always prided ourselves in being an open platform. So what I mean by that is even if we have a certain product, we still allow other competing products to integrate with our platform. We want customers to make that ultimate choice, or the dealer to make that choice as well. We have surveillance product with AI built into it, so you can program scenes off a human walking onto your driveway instead of just a leaf blowing, that sort of thing, or something pop onto your touchscreen or your TV when an event happens. It all kind of drives back into where we started with this. It's really about interoperability with us. We try to integrate with as many products as possible. 20 years ago, it was the way we connected devices was a lot different than it is now. It's not simpler, but there's way more devices that we can talk to now than we could when the company started 20 years ago.
Yeah, it sounds to me like the ultimate win is it's just made things as easy as possible and as accessible as possible with that interoperability.
Yeah.
The more devices, the more accessible people have to be able to have freedom of choice with what they want in their home. And then Control4 will still help you operate that system with ease and efficiency and full control in one space.
That's exactly it. And with the new operating system that we're in the process of launching now, X4, we have a dedicated home screen where a homeowner can decide what they want to see every time they look at their interface. So we're giving them a lot more flexibility on how they interact with their home.
That's exactly where we're getting to next. Is X4. We have been testing it for the last month and a half now. We're getting ready to release in Canada, I guess, beginning of next year.
Yeah.
I think our American counterparts have had it for a little bit longer than we
Yes.
have. So we're slowly getting caught up to them. Can you tell us a little bit more about X4 and why we should be so excited about it?
I'll start by, the naming, how we got to the name X, because we're coming from a platform that we were calling OS3. Typically you go to OS4, which essentially what it is, because it is an operating system. So essentially it is an OS. But we really spent a lot of time trying to focus on the customer experience. So X stands for customer experience because the platform is driven around how the customer interacts with their home. And we want to continue to work on that experience as the platform evolves. The biggest thing for us is, as I mentioned earlier, is the home screen. So we've never, just the way our platform was developed, we've never had the ability to do a dedicated home screen. So with the home screen now, a homeowner can decide what they want to see every time they open their app or go to a touchscreen, and it's all driven with widgets. So widgets is a standard terminology for different icons on a mobile interface, whether it's a touchscreen, iPad, mobile phone, whatever the case may be. and the end user can decide what their home screen looks like now. If you just want to see certain lighting scenes every time you open it up, that's what you see. You want to see security, doors, some cameras, that's what you see. And along with that is you can also have visibility to everything else that's going on in the home. So from the home screen, if there's a music source playing in 3 different rooms in the house, that'll be visible on the home screen. You don't have to go to a separate menu or into that particular room to see what is being played in that room. And then along with that, we're trying to give more flexibility to the customer. So, as far as building their own lighting scenes now and editing their own lighting scenes, they can do that from the interface as well. We've added something called routines. So now a homeowner can decide when their exterior lights turn on and off. If they want to do it by sunset, sunrise, or a certain time, and vary that certain time by a certain amount of minutes. And those routines are predetermined by our engineers. And the experiences that we have in that routine section will expand and grow over time as the platform evolves as well. Lastly, but we now have Apple HomeKit integration as well. We started this conversation with the question about how those devices are different. And as much as they're different, we also want to work with all of them as well. From a voice control standpoint, a Control4 system can work with, going to X4 now, Apple HomeKit, Amazon Alexa, or Google Home. So if you want to talk to your home via your mobile device or Amazon Alexas or Apple HomePods, I believe they're called, you can do that now, right? So it's, going back to interoperability, we want to integrate with as many devices as possible so that we can give the customer the experience that they're looking for.
I think when they announced the Apple HomeKit integration, I was very hesitant about it because we've dealt with customers previously that were trying to use Apple HomeKit and it was a disaster. I gotta say, it's my favorite new feature. I find myself using it more than anything else. And the fact that it works with Siri is fantastic. It's actually been really, really cool to show people, you have your phone and you don't have to go into the Control4 app. You can swipe down in the widgets menu on your phone and there's all your stuff and you can organize it the way you want. It's so cool.
Yeah, it gives you another point of interaction, whether it's via voice or a more simplistic way in your mobile device to integrate. And the nice thing about Apple is it's all built into their mobile devices. So there's nothing that really has to be done.
And my wife only talks to Siri and me if she needs to get something done. So having Siri in the house now that's doing things is fantastic. What is your favorite part of the X4?
I don't think I can say one thing. I'd say I'd be in the same camp as you, Trevor. When I first started using X4, I added HomeKit as soon as possible. I would say I use it on a daily basis. And nothing against the other voice platforms, because I use those in my home as well. Or I have, let me rephrase that, I have them in my home as well. I just no longer use them just because, my household is an Apple household. So everybody has Apple devices. It's just seamless. Probably would be on an even playing field, but the home screen would be right at that same level for me. I interact with my home screen more, I guess, than anything, because every time I open my app, I see what I want to see. So in my case, I see a small live image or live video stream of my driveway. I see all my doors, whether they're open, locked. And then I have a couple of lighting scenes that I interact with on a regular basis, different levels of the home, whether I want to turn them on or off, some good morning ones, that sort of thing. Oh, and my security system. I get to see whether it's armed or disarmed. So especially when I travel, it's an easy way for me to quickly look and see exactly what's happening in my home, just from a peace of mind standpoint.
And with the new products, new updates categories, we are expecting Lux lighting. I don't remember if it's already available or if it's going to be available soon. I know we've seen and gotten to play around with some of it, and I am a huge fan right now. It's so nice. And I was wondering, can you talk about the Lux stuff and what's changed about the Lux lighting from the previous?
I'll correct you. It's an addition to. Our current line of lighting is not going away. So Lux is our elevated experience, I would say. And yes, it is available now, but just like anything else, I wish that we could have every product at the same time. Yeah. That doesn't always work from a manufacturing or engineering standpoint. 85% of the products are available now, and the rest will trickle out over the next 3 months or so. It is a really design-centric product. So we've spent a lot of time on the design, the look, the feel, the installation, the button press, the backlighting, everything kind of from start to finish, give that luxury feel on whether it's a keypad or just a dimmer itself.
We've had the buttons on there are nice and big for like big guys like myself with big fat fingers, and so there's no mistaking anything when you're pressing them.
It looks like it's a full different size than what a standard Decora would be. Product itself fits in a regular size J box. Beyond that, that's kind of where the similarities end. So we've gone to a more symmetrical look. So we have the same basing all the way around the buttons, and what that did was that enlarged the buttons. So, but the nice thing about that is you do have a wide area for press. So you don't have to press right in the center of each one of these buttons. It can be left, right, whatever the case may be. And it just gives you that more expensive feel. And just like our existing line, you can do different size buttons. This is what we call single high, and this would be 2 triple highs. So, but you could also do 3 button, 2 button, or 6 button, or a combination of any in between. So you could have a 3 high for, let's say, an on, and then, a couple of other scenes. And the nice thing about lighting and keypads in our world is those buttons can do whatever you want within the system.
Yeah.
So it's not just about controlling lights, scenes, could be music, TVs, alarms, security systems, anything and everything. So, and then along with that, we also have 19 different colors, hopefully match most decors that are out there and including some metal finishes as well.
And free engraving now? Did I read that right?
Engraving is included, yes.
That's like the bane of my existence is you go and you would go into a house that's already done to do a takeover, and then the whole place is buttons for keypads, but there's no engravings. So then having to talk somebody into getting these buttons engraved to be more useful after the fact is 100% you're not going to do it. So getting them to do this right away like this is going to be a game changer too.
Obviously, I think I'm in the same camp as you. It's keypad without engravings is a useless keypad. To try to remember what everything does isn't always possible.
Yeah. So it's like adding to the problem that it's supposed to solve.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm excited for these.
Yeah, just to stay on this for a second, I think, I appreciate the attention to detail that's been put into the ergonomics of this. Trevor shook his head a bunch of times. We just had a client in the other day that said the feel of a button is crucial for him. And it just kind of was one of those reminders that it does change the feel of your home when you have to go press that button every day and you don't like the way it presses.
Yes.
It kind of sounds a little, I don't know, hoity-toity sometimes, but it is so much of the sensatory experience we have as humans. It matters.
100%.
And so I really appreciate that these took that into consideration. And then, of course, added the opportunity to have different finishes because, yeah, as a designer, that's crucial for a home. And you don't want ugly, white, normal, basic things on the walls a lot of the times. Right. So just even feeling this metal gold-plated one right now, I was like, oh, this is ergonomically, even just the weight of this I like. Like, yes. There's a win there.
Yeah, the feel is amazing.
Yeah. So that's great. We're really excited to be able to support our clients with that one. So in the spirit of new, so we have new Lux lighting. We have new X4, not OS4. Crucial difference.
That's right.
What can you tell us about what's currently behind the scenes? What are we working on? What's next?
Well, short answer is I can't say.
We knew it. When there was 2 new things, we knew there was going to be an NDA or something. We're willing to sign if you want.
Yeah. So, really what it boils down to is we never stop working on changing platforms, experiences, forever evolving. Ultimately what we want to see is a system that somebody installs today or starts using today, it will evolve over time. From what's new, there will always in our world be a new OS. It'll always have some new features. There will always be something new that integrates with our platform. We want everybody to understand that just like your mobile device that you're updating on a regular basis, your home control system is no different. It will always evolve.
I mean, when you have, 20,000 plus integratable products.
Yes.
Yeah, new is always around the corner.
New is
So
always around
that's
the corner.
great.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
I just want to find out, because you've been in the industry for some time now. I'm not going to say how long, I'm going to guess, but you've gotten to see a lot of things come and go. And I want to find out from you, what's something that you've seen that kind of came in that took everybody by surprise, that just changed the game? Yeah, just like nobody expected.
Very, very difficult to answer, because in technology, there's always something. My answer might sound a little biased, but I'm going to go back 20 years. When Control4 came out, there was nothing like it. It really changed the way how you interact with a home. Before that, it was very expensive commercial systems that in some luxury homes, you ended up controlling certain things or trying certain things, but very complex. When Control4 started, their thought process was to, have a controller in every home. We didn't quite get there. It changed the industry for the better. And I think Control4 drove a lot of technological innovations in many aspects.
I'm kind of glad that you touched on that, because it brings up a secondary question for me. Something that sometimes comes up around the world of Control4, and we find it funny, at least I do every single time it comes up, is that there's the idea that Control4 is the dinosaur of operating systems because it's been around so long, and because there are new technologies, let's say, that they feel might rival it, or at least compete at a high level, that aren't so old, if you will, or they weren't the originator. What would you say to those that think Control4 is something of the old ages?
Yeah.
And that's not a hit on you, just so we're clear.
So I would look at it two different ways. One, it all depends on what they're comparing it to. So if they're comparing it to a standard consumer product, then it kind of goes back to my original answer. It's going to be the original question where we started, which is you can only have so many devices that you can interact with. And again, that may be fine for some people, but there's very few companies that, and none of them do it quite at the same level that we do, as far as talking to other products, going back to interoperability of the products that are out there. We've all been in situations where we've bought a single-use product. I'm not going to name any names, but anything that's connected to the internet, it could be a single-use product, right? And in a lot of cases, those devices might be good for 5 years, and the company may go away. It may be bought by somebody. At that point, they use some of their intellectual property, and then they change it, whatever the case may be, right? Well, a Control4 system today, going into X4, you can take a controller that was purchased in 2016 and upgrade it to X4 today. I don't even know if I can use my mobile phone from 9 years ago and update it to a current software. As much as, we've been around a long time, and it's not always possible to bring all the products up to the next OS, we do our best to make sure that a system that somebody buys today can grow with them over time as well. That all being said, we do live in technology, and it changes very fast. Probably will change faster next several years to decades, right? So
yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I think that what I hear in that is age is wisdom.
Yes.
Right? There's an interconnection that the system has established over the many years, being the OG, that it kind of gives its name a superpower in the sense of it knows everything at this point. It's been doing it long enough. It's not learning necessarily as much as it used to. It's got it situated. It's planted itself as the wise elder that will be able to give you what you need at the most efficient way possible.
Yeah, I would look at it, I'd say add one more thing to that. I think there's a lot of companies, a lot of brands, a lot of devices that do one or two things really well. Again, I'm not going to name anything, but just lots of them. We do a lot of different things, and we talk to a lot of different devices, make it a useful and b easy way to interact with somebody's home.
Speaking to, I guess, the longevity of Control4, we're grateful to hear that there's new updates and that there's new products, and that just continues to ascribe Control4 to the reality that they're never going to stop growing and evolving, changing and adapting. So what do you see in the industry itself in the next, 5, 10, 15 years, however you want to look at it? What do you see coming down the road? What does the future of smart home automation look like? And it can be your personal opinion too, if you need it to be.
Well, it's going to have to be. It's kind of interesting because I watched a movie a few months back this past summer with my kids, and the original Back to the Future. So my 10-year-old son the other day asked me about that movie and asked why we don't have hoverboards,
It's a fair question. Yeah.
right? Because in 1985, they said by 2015, I think it was, they were on hoverboards.
We were already talking about it.
Very difficult for me to answer. It's obviously going to be my personal opinion, but I think that, as I mentioned, technology is going to change extremely fast in the coming years with AI. Probably an overused term, but it is the reality in the world that we live in. But beyond that, I can't honestly really grasp exactly where it's going to go. I think our homes there'll be more things connected to it. 5 years ago, we were saying more and more devices are going to be connected in the home, and that's not going to stop. Everything that we touch now is going to be connected to the internet, like the infrastructure that all the ISPs are building now is for that connected world. How the industry as a whole brings it all together is to be seen, but I think it'll be exciting.
On that same air, then, let's say you have the power to control the direction of something. Could be anything in the regards to the home automation space or even the tech space. If you could improve or change one thing in this arena, what would you want to see?
Really just more presence, I guess. And what I mean by that is things happen when a person walks into a room, whether it's they're wearing something on them that is telling something else to do something or whatever the case may be. But I think something around those lines I think would be extremely neat.
Reminds me of...
Right? Kind of like George Jetson.
Yeah.
Right?
Food or rack cycle.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Rough the Jetsons at my house still.
He has to, of course. He's the owner of this company. He has to. Yeah, it's like when you have a phone in your pocket and it gets close to the door and it recognizes you're there and it unlocks your door. Like small pieces like that, but elevated.
Elevated.
Yes.
Right.
I heard something recently about smart dust. Does anybody know anything about smart dust? Something about how everything will be able to be tracked because there's smart dust being created so that it's floating through the air and catching onto things and tracking all movements and things. So that's about as present as presence gets. Yeah. Maybe not that far. Yeah.
No, not. Yeah.
Now we got a lighter question. So assuming you're not already in there, but you're building your dream home and then you get to really choose whatever you want, like technology or whatever wise for your home. What are you putting in your dream home and why?
Well, I think lots of different things. I'll start from a control standpoint, but obviously it would be Control4, it would be Lux lighting, but everything that goes along with that, shades, security, surveillance, obviously audio, video, that sort of thing. I'd love to have a golf simulator. I think that would be fantastic, outdoor and indoor, video outside, audio outside, all encompassing, right? So I live and breathe this every day and I still don't get bored by it. I want to hear music throughout the home, outside, wherever you go. Same with lighting, having the ability to control the color temp of the lighting experience in a home with circadian rhythm lighting. There's a huge benefit to all that. I don't know if, dream homes it's always a tough question, but I don't know where I would start and stop, I guess, is really I'm sure a lot of people are in the same situation.
Everybody has like those big goals. And I think I just want a room that locks and nobody else can go inside with me just for like an hour to get a break from all the noise.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
As long as it's automated, it's all good.
Yeah. I had one question I think that's important just to close. It's about scene setting and the automation side of this. We've talked a lot about functionality, interoperability, the new product, the new operating software, and having control over all of that. We haven't really aired to really what makes Control4 stand out as, one of the more incredible softwares is what a scene is, or, if this happens, then this happens. Mm-hmm. So can you briefly describe what a scene is? Part one. Mm-hmm. Part two, can you share the wildest scene you've ever programmed or seen before?
Okay, well, we'll start with scenes. Scenes in general are just the ability to curate a number of things happening. And it could be as simple as pressing a dinner scene. Your kitchen lights dim, your dining room lights go up to a certain level, your shades close maybe, or maybe raise, I don't know, depending on the time of day. Or it could be an away scene and you're going away and all your lights are turning off. If the TVs are on, it's shutting down the TVs. If your audio's on, it's shutting down the audio, setting your security system to away, lowering the temperature or raising the temperature. So it could be, in my view, a scene could be a lot of different things. I think a lot of people view scenes as lighting only because that's how we always call them lighting scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But scenes can be, I think, in a number of different things. But lighting scenes would probably be the main.
Wildest scene you've seen set?
It's always a tough one because it's really dependent on the home itself, right? I've seen lighting scenes as basic as, every time somebody drove into the garage with their car, it started playing a certain song through the speakers, or you walk into a gym and same thing, the TV automatically turns on and music starts playing and all these things happen. So it's really whatever your imagination wants it to be. The term I use a lot is just because you can do something doesn't necessarily mean you should. In a lot of cases, it's, when you start thinking about how you live your daily life, there are certain things that you do on a constant basis. And if you can build those scenes or automations around things that you do on a regular basis, that's when it becomes a very powerful tool.
It's been a pretty large component of what we do is scaling down to scale up almost.
Yes.
Keeping it simple, lifestyle matched, don't overcomplicate it.
Correct.
And keep it so that it's actually used and not wasted.
Correct.
Yeah. So great.
Good way to look at it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's all we have for you and all the questions we need from you. Is there anything else that you want to share about Control4, about what you do?
There's always going to be more. X4 is the start of something larger.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll evolve over time, as I've said. Lux Lighting is a new endeavor for us. It's elevating our lighting control capabilities, and it'll only evolve from there.
Yeah, we're excited. These are some great upgrades. So very much looking forward to putting these in homes and sharing them with the world. So great work from you and your team. Thank you for making it down all the way from, do you call it the East Coast? Are you on the east side of Canada? Is that what you would say? Or are you in the middle?
I'd be in the
You're
middle.
Right? Yeah, okay. Thanks from the middle of Canada all the way to the west of Canada. And thank you for joining us for another episode of the Tech Savvy series. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share if this finds value, and don't forget to reach out to us directly if you have questions or if you want us to take care of your home. Thanks for watching.